Hey Stephanie, it's Leslie here. I hope you had a good break and a great Thanksgiving and was able to spend it with your family and eat lots of turkey. I'm glad we are back in the swing of things, and pricing is a big issue, so it's a great one to start back from the break with. Okay, so I've read through your email or your post here. And I'm going to be a little tough at first, and it's just because I've been where you are, and you are charging way, way too little for your work. I think at $50 with a CD, you might as well not be charging personally. If you don't feel confident enough in your not charging, $50 is just not. For somebody that wants to be a professional photographer, if you're to start at $50, you are never going to uh, jump to where you eventually want to be to actually be able to make money. I know from personal experience, so I'm talking to you from personal experience. You cannot start out at 50 and then expect one day to start making thousands of dollars like some of these photographers out there, because your client base will be like, wait a minute, I remember when she was $50. And your time is worth more than $50. I don't care what your photos look like, your time is worth more than $50. I mean, do the math. If you do a session that's 1 to 2 hours, and that, includes travel to the site and pre-consultation, all that stuff. When you add in all that stuff, you are definitely spending at least 2 hours before and during the shoot. Probably more, but I'm just being conservative here. And then if you're editing 20 images and you take at least 5 minutes per image, which I'm guessing maybe you take more. I take more, but let's just say 5. And then you have, however you show your clients your images, whether you post them online or whether you do an in-person ordering session, your follow-up, your order, placing the orders of whatever, burning the CD, packaging the CD, all of that stuff. I mean, you have got to be spending at least 5 hours total per client. You're making $10 an hour. That's, to me, not worth all the time. And like I say, it's going to be a bigger hole to climb out of whenever you want to do this full time, because you're going to have to charge more full time. And that's just going to be, you're going to lose all your clients, which is fine, because you don't need the kind of client that thinks $50 is a good idea. You need a client that's more, but I'm just saying it's hard. Trust me. I started out at $75 for the session and $75 for the CD. And it was hard to climb out of that hole to get where I am now. And where I am now is still too little for what I do. I know it. And I'm not bragging about my photos. It really has nothing to do with my photos. It has to do with my professionalism, my business, my packaging, my branding, keeping up with the website, the blog, the education, all this stuff is worth, being paid for it. And you're going to get a certain type of client at $50. And if you want to do this full time, you're going to have to get out of that client. So right now, if I were you, I would change my pricing immediately to something higher, but not charge that until you are completely satisfied and confident in charging. In other words, your session is $150. Your CD is $500. However, at this point, until, such and such a date, I am doing sessions for portfolio building purposes. As of January 1st, 2013, these prices will be in effect, or whatever. So people start seeing that you are professional and you take yourself seriously and professionally, and you know that your time and effort is worth it. There's a mindset to you charging $50. It makes it seem as though you don't feel like you're worth anymore, and you're going to get the kind of clients that don't think you're worth anymore, and those aren't the kind of clients you want. And I'm going to tell you from experience, friends, families, and coworkers are not the clients you need to be marketing to, because they are never going to pay however much. They will think $50 is too much. They will think $100 is too much. They are not your clientele. Trust me, trust me, trust me. I've been there and I've done it. So my advice to you, and I know pricing is overwhelming. I still don't think my pricing is the way it should be. And I change it all the time, trying to make sure that my clients are getting the best, the best thing that they want, but also something that's worth it to me. So I understand, and I will continue to talk to you about this because I feel passionately that you deserve more than $50. So this video doesn't help or doesn't get you where you need to go, you let me know. We'll continue to discuss that. But the first thing I would do is change your pricing and just start sending out the pricing to whoever calls, but explain to them that they're lucky, and for right now, this pricing is not in effect. If they book, oh, excuse me, I'm yawning. If they book between now and whatever date you feel comfortable with, my thing with confidence is, I mean, I don't look at my pictures and I still don't think they're great, personally. But what I am confident in is my ability to market, my ability to give great customer service, my ability to find education and figure out how to do things, and my ability to, run this business and all of that good stuff. Now, my photos, I know there are many photographers that are more technically, inclined than I am. They know more than I do. But you know what? They don't know what I know, and they're not me. And that's the way you need to look at it. Nobody is you. Yes, there may be somebody out there that's better at one thing or another, but they're not you, and the people that are coming to you need to come to you for you and not your pricing. And it's a hard thing to get out of, but that's the mindset you need to go into it with. They need to come to you because they like you, they like your style, they like your photos, they like your everything about you, they like your brand. Goes back to our week on branding. And that's the way you need to market your business. And that's the way you will be able to have a business that can support you as opposed to a hobby. $50 an hour is probably a hobby, and that's fine. But my thing is if you want it to be a legitimate business, you got to get out of that price bracket. And you will lose clients. I will not lie to you. But you will find new clients that value you as opposed to looking for a steal, basically, because that's what they're getting. So I would up your session fee to at least $150. If you want to include a CD, then you got to change that. But if you just want to do a session fee, then it's $50. Okay, I see on here your pricing menu for newborns. Session fee $50. Okay, newborns, you're probably there for 4 hours, so that needs to be even more than a normal session, because newborns take a whole lot of time. Okay, I think that the a la carte pricing is probably a little too low. It's not terrible, but it's probably a little too low. So I would up that. The digital files, no way, Jose. $10 each, no way. You need to be at least $50 each for individual digital files. And even that's probably low, but I think $50 each, because if you think about it and you explain this to your clients as a digital image, they can use that one image a million times on Facebook, email, whatever. They can print it a million times, and you're only getting $10 for it. I like to compare it to a sitcom. Like back in the day, the stars of the sitcom didn't get residuals from the reruns. And then they figured out, hey, wait a minute, my rerun of The Love Boat is running every day for 10 years after the show ended, and I'm not getting a dime for it, and yet I worked all those hours to produce that show. It's the same philosophy. You need to get enough money that if they post it a million times, or if they even ruin it, because sometimes that happens, that you will be satisfied with how much they paid you. So in my advice, it should be $50 at least. I mean, granted, I think eventually it should be $100, but for one image. But right now, I think $50. Change that immediately. Custom announcements and albums, you're not going to make a huge markup on those just because they're going to cost you some money. But you need to probably mark it up at least double for what it costs you. And I don't know who you're ordering announcements from, so I can't really comment on this particular, but you need to at least do double, if not triple, because of the work that goes into it. You're not just charging for the item, you're charging for the work that goes into it. So both of those things I would do at least double, if not triple, your cost. Probably triple to consider the work, but double at least to get, the amount that you paid for it back. Okay, let's see. Seniors, okay, I see that you've got this sort of package together, and I think that's fine if that's what your clients are after. I mean, if you find that most of your clients are after, the digital images and stuff, then that's the way you want to package it. I think that's great. I just think your prices need to go up. I personally would not offer a 30-minute session simply because I think that most people are going to see the fact that it's cheaper and go for that as opposed to any of your higher ones. So I would take that off. If you want to do an occasional mini session day where you do 30-minute sessions, I think that's fine as a special. But I would not have that permanently on your pricing guide because, like I say, if you are in a market that's looking for the price, and they're going to think, oh, 30 minutes is enough. We'll get some good images from that, and they'll always pick that cheaper one. So I would take that one off. I would have a standard package, and I would have a package that includes makeup and hair, period. Those are the two I would have. But I would not have, if you're going to keep it, I don't mind the 150 for the one hour session and 2 outfits and 2 locations, but this has got to come out because that's not enough money for all of that. So if you want to keep your digitals within your package and sell it that way, I think that's fine. But I think this has got to be, every bit of $350 here and $650 here, personally. And that, like I say, if you're not comfortable charging that right now, put it out there so people start seeing it and you start educating your clients. But takes clients until a certain date as special as a portfolio building thing. If most of your clients are buying digital and not buying prints or anything like that, then and it's easier and more convenient for you than having your session fee and your digitals all in one, and they decide beforehand, is fine. I know plenty of photographers that do that. You just got to make sure you charge enough. I think 5 outfits and 5 locations is way too much, personally. I personally think that you should do maybe 3 outfits and maybe say something like as many locations as we can fit into the 2 hours. I would never do a 4-hour session. That's way too many images for anybody. To decide between, and that's way too much of your time. I mean, it all goes back to your time. You're in this for a business and to make money. And if you spend 4 hours on a session, 20 digital images, I mean, we're talking, that's already 6 hours just editing and session, and that right there is being way conservative. It's probably more like 8 hours, to be honest with you, because there's a lot of email and beforehand stuff and following up and all this stuff. You need to make a list of, yes, this is your homework for today. Okay, make a list of every single solitary step that you do before, during, and after one session, and I want you to send it to me, and we're going to time it out, and we're going to figure out how much time you actually spend, and then we're going to figure out how much money you think that is worth. So I need you to make a list. If you answer phone calls, if you answer emails, if you send pricing guides, if you talk to them about their clothing, if you follow up, if you location, look for a location, if you plan the session, if you get to the session, how many hours are you there, if you send sneak peeks on Facebook, if you do a blog post, if you do any and every single thing that is related to one session from start to finish, I want you to write down in a list for me, and I want you to write down approximately how much time you take for each of those steps. 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it is, write it down. I want you to send it to me. Either in a private message, or you can, post it on here. Either way, whatever. I want you to send that to me, and then we're going to figure out exactly how much you should change your pricing to. I think that's the best way to do it. I mean, I can suggest all day long, but until I know exactly how much time you spend on something, I can't tell you exactly what to charge. So I want you to do that. That's what I want the homework to be, and I'm going to help you. And like I say, if you're not quite confident in whatever numbers we come out with, we can say until such and such a date, I'm doing portfolio building, and as soon as this date arrives, my pricing is this. And then you know what? You'll probably get a whole bunch of people wanting to get it for free, and that is fine. And those people will no longer be your clients, and that is fine. But I feel strongly that you deserve to make some money for what you are doing, and I would love to help you. And like I say, this comes from a place of I've been there and I've done that, so I know. So I totally understand where you are, and it took someone pointing this type of thing out to me a long, long time ago for me to be able to, help you as well. I hope this video has helped you know that you can do this, and know that you can charge more, and know that you will, every time you change your pricing, you will lose clients, and that's fine. Honestly, that's fine, because you want a client that values. The goal is to find a client that's not price shopping. And find clients that are simply looking for your style of work and you. And then it really is gravy after that. So let's do that. Let's send that list to me, and I will add that to your critique for next week and let you know what you should be pricing. Again, let me know if you have any questions. I hope you have a great week, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks, Stephanie.